The Hartner custodian was Skeet Piersal. I doubt that Skeet was his real name, but I don't remember ever hearing him called anything but Skeet. And where the nickname came from, assuming that was a nickname, no idea. But we were blessed to have that man as a custodian. My guess is he'd been a custodian when the building was not new, and probably struggled with a lot of things to just keep it all together. He was proud of that new school, and he kept it shiny and spotless. And if somebody, teacher, guest, or student, didn't treat that building with respect, he wasn't mean about it. But he had let me know and expected me to see to it that it didn't happen again. And I never had any trouble asking anybody to not do whatever it was that was being done. Oh, there was one little incident that I'll get back to later that's quite a little story. But here he is, a man that's doing a great job, never asks any help with anything, just does the job. And one day he comes to me and asks me if I'd come help him. Well, sure. And I follow him. We go out the front door. I guess this was after school when everybody else was gone, because I don't remember any audience. He said, I want you to hold this ladder. And the flagpole, I'm not going to say it was 30 feet tall, but it looked more than that 34-foot tower when I was up there looking down. But tall. And, at the base, the thing was probably, I don't know, probably 5 inches in diameter. On up there, I don't think it was an inch right clear at the top. And here's an ordinary ladder, as I remember, an aluminum ladder. The darn things are about this wide at the bottom. They don't taper much. And it's not going to be, to me it should have had some sort of rig on it that tied it to that pole, so that as you slid it up there, it was going to stay kind of centered. He just leaned it up there. And, I'm looking at this little old man, because to me, he was old. I expect maybe he was 50, give or take 10. But when you're 30, that's an old man. I said, no way, you're not going up there. I'll do that, big shot. Young paratrooper, no problem. I'll do it. Well, I could tell he had some reservation about that, but okay, if you want to do it, okay, and I'll hold the ladder. We put that ladder up there. I had to help him. Here's a ladder up there at the top, I suppose, is all of 18 inches wide, maybe a little more. And he's centering it on a piece of metal up there that, although that post is a good size at the bottom, it's very little up there at the top and very limber. Well, so that there's not a lot of pressure against the ladder, and you against that pole, I don't think that the base of that ladder is more than 3.5, 4 feet away from the base of the pole. So you're basically climbing a ladder unsupported to go up and do this job. The thing looked a whole lot different the minute we had the ladder up than it did when I just looked up and said, oh yeah, I can do that. But I started up. As I recall, you maybe had a pair of pliers in your pocket, although I don't think you needed anything. The deal is that little thin chain goes up and goes over this pulley wheel. It's mounted so that this chain moves over the top of that rotating wheel to raise and lower the flag. And somehow, probably because of wind, Kansas has some fierce winds at times. But for whatever reason, it had come off of that top loop. Well, boy, the higher I got, the more scared I was. And I was scared by the time I was halfway up. Man, you talk about a feeling of no stability. But, not going to back off. So, finally get up there, scared to death. I don't think I've ever been as frightened in my life as I was. I get up there and I'm reaching through there and holding on, all the way up. I've got a hand on the pole and trying to be sure that I can help keep that ladder from sliding off of there. Because, man, by the time you're up there 15 or 20 feet, you're aware that if you fall, you could get hurt bad. You could even get killed. So I'm finally at the top. Lift that thing up and check it. Yep, it's where it belongs. Come down very carefully down. Whew, made it. Well, I'd been surprised that he wanted help. Realized that it was dumb of me to say, I'll go up, not you. But I'll tell you what, I'm glad that darn thing didn't come off again while I was there, because I wouldn't be responsible for holding that ladder either with the man on it. Too risky. Later, I was in schools that were designed by architects that weren't so dang tight, or maybe the school board had been too tight to do this. But you have a joint affair down there that you can just lay that pole down and work on it, then put it back up, lock it, and it's back up there, and nobody's risking their life to take care of it. Somebody pointed out to me later, you shouldn't have been such a chicken. All you had to do, if that ladder slipped, was reach around the ladder as it went, grab a hold of the pole, swing off of the ladder, wrap your legs around the pole, and ease yourself down, just slide down the pole. Well, I bet they're right. For as scared as I was, that thought never entered my mind. If that ladder had gone, I was going to go with it. Knew I was going to go with it. Didn't even occur to me I had an option. You'd have to be old cool hand Luke to handle that situation where the ladder's slipping, your one hand's in there trying to help it stay where it ought to be, let it go, reach around there and get the other one, get your feet off and swing around. I'm sure it could be done, but you'd better damn well be coordinated and be a little bit lucky. Whew. Enough of that one time. My dad would call that a one-time learner. You don't do that again, Dean Riggs.